Hello. Let's introduce ourselves to give you some picture of what we're heading into here. So my name is Martine Demers. I'm behavior consultant at Riverside School Board, and I work with Catherine.
Hello, everybody. My name is Catherine Cora, and I'm also a behavior consultant working at the Riverside School Board.
One of our colleagues is also Ketsia Dorinville, for whom this initiative actually came from. Ketsia is very dynamic and is working at helping students transition into school. And part of this project came from seeing how some of our students are coming into school with different levels of readiness and seeing what can we do to help. And we know that we have an upcoming cohort coming in August, but what can we do to help them prepare, know that we're anticipating their entry, we're looking forward to it, and what are different tools and games and resources that we could provide parents that would be helpful in helping them get ready, but really be in the spirit of coming into K4 is not the same as coming into K5. So our goal was to say, what can we assemble? And key partners have come together to help make this opportunity possible. And what we have done is there has been worked with the Community Health and Social Services Network, the Montérégie West Community Network, our CLC coordinators, and a combination with Ketsia from Riverside. And then we stepped in to provide some support with Ketsia. So the key piece here is that we have assembled an entire kit that each student coming into K4 will be receiving a kit. Now, this is both for the student and the parent. So we're very excited. And what we want to do is to provide you with an opportunity to have a sense of what are all the pieces that we've put in there, why we've chosen those things, because they've all been specifically chosen for a reason. They are part of a whole ensemble, and we'll walk you through the different things. Now, when your school is presenting these kits to parents, we want you to take pictures. Our partners have asked for lots and lots of pictures. We want to see parents and kids with the kit, and even some of them, like, we know their faces when they're opening it up. So take a few minutes. We'd really appreciate that. We also want to have a sense of like the work that went into it is what's the reaction that we're going to get with students. So we're hoping to have some fun with this. We know they will. So here we go. We want to give you a walkthrough of the different content. So if we lay it all out, this is what it looks like. So we want to start with a huge thank you to Ketsia, because this initiative would not have come together if it wasn't for her idea and then saying, hey, what can we do about it? Can we make this happen? Well, we did. We did. It has come together. It's all together. We're very excited, and we're really looking forward to seeing the potential impact of what this is going to happen. We know it's going to be different in different places, but for us, there was a lot of fun and care put into assembling, being creative, making it very bright and fun. So it would be very appealing to the kids. And that was really our big focus is this needs to be fun. We need to be looking forward to coming into school. The other part is all of the pieces here fit into a portrait of looking at what is developmental for the kids. What is some of the areas that we want to trigger, to encourage, to ignite in the kids. We want kids doing things with their parents, not just kids on their own or just parents doing things. So there's a combination of things here that you'll see. We'll walk you through them that are some for the kids alone that they can do alone. And then there's some things to do with them. And then there are some things that are really for mom and dad, and those could even be shared with grandmas and grandpas and other caregivers, but some of the adult stuff is really an adult section for them. So let's get started. So here we go. First thing is that we will want for each of the school team, and we'll provide you with the electronic template, is to set up a welcome sheet where everybody's picture for whom the child will come into contact with, and the parents could come into contact with, to be on this sheet. So all of the photos to be in. We've put happy faces right now, but we want your photos in there. So each school will take the time to assemble this, print this. So when the student opens up the lid, this is the first thing they see is people's faces with a warm invitation of, oh my goodness, we're looking forward to having you. It also helps the kids and the parents become familiar with who is who and what they look like. Now, we understand there could potentially be a change of somebody in the staffing group. That's okay. But at least if some of those faces or most of the faces remain the same, that will be a top asset in helping the child's anxiety when they're heading into school, but also for the parents to know if they've got somebody's name in a note or an email or there's a contact, then they'll have a sense of who is that person because they've got a visual with the name. And it is also, I mean, we're looking at supporting and helping the student with their anxiety, but also the parent. A parent who this is their first time coming into a school system, it is a huge step. So we want to give that really big warm invitation. Now, this is our pièce de résistance. We have had lots of fun putting this together. And what we wanted here was to really like for a kid to go, yeah, hey, I'm ready for this. I can handle this. What are the things that I'm able to do on my own? Now, there may be some things here that are less accessible to you in different ways, and that's okay. The goal is not that you have to do all of this like in a mad rush. No, ideas to think about, things to add into if you're not already doing some of these things. So we have a sections of things I like to choose because kids want to make choices, but where can we help them and how can we help them with their readiness for coming to school? We have things around their personal care of what to wear, what do they want to wear, what do they want to play. If you're heading out for a picnic, what are the kinds of things that they like to bring? And we've created an activity that is like a family planning activity. That's a spinning wheel, but there's also a back to it. We'll show you that you can write in your own things with a dry erase marker because it's been laminated. So we've tried to make things durable. This is printed and laminated, so it can be used with a dry erase marker. On the bottom left section, as we're looking at, I'm growing, let me show you what I can do. Now, these are all things that we're hoping that the students are either able to do or on their way to doing well on their own when they're heading into K4, because these are things that we are going to be encouraging them to be able to do on their own, and we're going to help them if they need help. But the key is really, if they're able to do this, it will ease their transition into school. And that's really what we're hoping, is to make this a fun experience, hopefully not too anxiety provoking and not too overwhelming for them. So if they've had practice with opening their lunch container, unzipping their lunchbox, putting the straw in the juice box, and some kids are very independent and are able to do all of this. If you add in a thermos, let's practice that. Do some lunches or meals at home where you pack it all up like you were at school and have fun going on a picnic. Practice those things. Using the washroom in different areas, public washrooms, that they're able to go to the washroom, to wipe themselves and be able to wash their hands on their own, and just have that routine that they're comfortable with, because then it'll be easier for them to follow through and do that at school. Now, we know kids need to move and they like it a lot. So what are different ways in exploring? K4 will really be focused on exploring and playing. So what are different things that we can do? We've just put some suggestions here. Again, with the dry erase marker, if you want, you could be writing it up, or you could be checking off the ones that you've done. Things I like to make. Whoa, be a chef. We need to get dirty. This is a big part of learning. Building forts inside, outside. It doesn't mean you need specific things. Take whatever's available around the house. Be an inventor. So we really want to encourage this. Now, what we've done is, we know that some of our students are Anglophone and some are Francophone. So we have it in both languages. It is printed back to back that you will have that. Okay. Now, brain breaks. We're going to be doing them at school. So we want to encourage some active activities, and we've got like the big ones, going outside, riding a bikes and playing games. We're also looking at some what could be either indoor and some outdoor, the animal stance activities. So we've got this printed up, and then we've done an emotions yoga. You'll see that there's a lot of work that we're encouraging activities around emotions, but this is like integrating them together of emotions and a quiet activity. So having something that's active, but then having something that's quiet, or at different times of the day. So we just want to show examples of some of the things that will be introduced at school. So by having them beforehand, it just helps to make them familiar, and you guys can have them around the house. So we want to encourage play and manipulation. So there is a container of Play-Doh in there. There's recipes for Play-Doh. If this one, whoops, something happens to it or it dries up, you've got recipes that you can make and have fun. What we've also put in is a Play-Doh placemat. So on the left-hand side, and this is printed back to back and laminated, so it can be used as is. There are different suggestions of things to create, but this is not limited in any way. On the other side, we said, hey, what about creating your own lunch? So have fun designing what could be a funky lunch. So the emotions bingo is a piece where we want to, a lot of work will be done in school with being able to recognize emotions, name emotions, express emotions. So why not play with emotions? So what we're doing here is really, we've set up that you have cards coming home, and that the kids will be able to play. They've got the tokens, they've got the cards and the bingo cards, and you can play together. Here's our family activity spinning wheel. So on one side, we've given some examples. On the flip side, you would just need to take out the arrow, flip it around and put it in, and you could then put your own suggestions of activities and give it a spin and see what's the next activity today. Some other areas that we've put in is having some hands-on things. Is kids like to manipulate and play, so we really felt that having a quiet activity like a felt marble maze would be a very good one to have, so that this is like in the realm of a fidget. So it's something that there's one in each of the kits. And so the goal of it is to move the marble around in different areas. It can travel all over. And the other thing is it's washable. It doesn't make any noise. It could be brought in the car. It could be put in different places. So really options, lots of options there. The Connect 4 is a good way to, if this is not an area where there's been a lot of exposure to trying games, is to be able to put that out. Sometimes we win, sometimes we lose. It's also
Yeah.
a travel size. So this is a really fun size to bring in the car if you're going to for a picnic or you're going somewhere. If you're going to a clinic and you need to wait, this can be a very small format size to bring with you. Now, we love going to parks, and we're encouraging a lot of that. So we added in some bubbles because that's really just some quick, good fun there, and lots of fun things can happen with it.
Martin, before we move on to the parent section of things, I just wanted
Mm-hmm.
to mention, for those who have noticed or perhaps not noticed, we've really purposefully put our intention behind creating this kit was to steer away from the academic portion of things, and
Mm-hmm.
not putting pressure on the child to being ready in terms of their name, in terms of letters and numbers, in terms of all of that, the colors even, and so the idea is to focus on play as much as possible, and also in terms of movement, and helping them being able to be school ready in that sense, and not so much in terms of putting pressure academically. And so this kit was also thought through not just for the child, but also for the parent, and how the parent can come alongside for the child and themselves, especially if they're a first parent having their eldest start school for the first time. How can they make sense of where their child is at in terms of their development? If they're seeing certain behaviors or seeing certain emotions come out, can we help them normalize what they're seeing? And so this wonderful, wonderful book by Deborah McNamara, Rest, Play, Grow, has been written both in English and in French. And so again, we've kept in mind keeping both languages available for the children, for the parents, in order for them to take a look at different phenomenons that might be going on in the child's life, and to kind of validate, normalize, help the parent find little tips on how to accompany the child. There's no expectation that the book should be read from cover to cover. That's what's great about this book. Each chapter holds its own, and so parents can just go to whatever speaks to them, and each chapter is not very long. It's about, I would say, anywhere between 10 to 20 pages, with a lot of pictures in there. And so it's a really great asset to this kit. This is also a book that we strongly recommend for those school staff who have not seen this book before. We strongly suggest this for school staff as well to take a peek at.
Mm-hmm.
And so just to give you an idea of what this book contains, there's a chapter in there about the preschooler personality and understanding when the child is immature, what are the lacks there that make that they get themselves into trouble sometimes, here and there with little things, and to normalize that, because their brain is still developing, and we need to invite for them to be who they are to the level that they can be. And so if we understand that the child has a lot of tantrums and that it's normal at this age, then the parent will be much less in distress about that, and inviting that so much more. So there's a chapter on that. There's a chapter on play. There's one about relationships and the child who is hungry for connection. I'm talking about who's in charge, and so for the adult to remain in charge. There's a chapter on emotions, one on frustration, aggression, which is such a center topic for that age group.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about alarm by disconnection disconnection. That's another one that's very huge. Going to school for the first time is really scary. Going to school is not the same thing as going to daycare. And so, of course, many kids have huge reactions. And so how to come alongside that. And the other one that we see a lot at that age group is all of the resistance and the opposition. And so it's a wonderful book and very well complete. Along with the book, we have also decided to put together a tip for parents, both in English and in French. Basically, what this lanyard is about is just kind of explaining what is in the kit, what it is that we encourage, what are our vision of the kit, and to help the parents kind of give them a guideline a little bit on how to bring this kit to life with their child. Also, along with the book and the tip for parents, we've put in place some infographics that are actually kind of like, I would say, an overall a summary of some of the chapters. So the one there on preschooler personality is basically a summary of the key points from that chapter. The same thing for the one, Why Play Matters. We'll touch for that chapter on play. And see this one too as well in terms of the frustration and aggression. Again, there's I kind of see this as like the cheat sheet. It's kind of like the one page here where you could just hang on to. I also strongly suggest for staff to hold on to these as well. And the fourth one that's there is for that chapter on the child being alarmed with disconnection.
Mm-hmm. It's also a great tool to keep in mind. The three-step dance is with that readiness and getting them to school, and how are we doing the drop off, and how are we doing the pickup.
Mm-hmm. And so this is, the overall of the kit. We really took the time to present each of the sections to you because we thought it was important to walk you through the kit. This could not have been possible without the collaboration of the Community Health and Social Services Network, nor of the Community Learning Centers, nor of the Montérégie West Community Network, as well as the Riverside School Board. And so thank you for all of the different people who have been involved. This would not have been possible without them. Again, Katia Dorainville, a key person in this project. She is the one who brought this to life and who initiated it. And so thank you, Katia, for have put this forth. We also wanted to thank a few key people who were there to help us put the kits together and to prepare the different materials. And so we have different SCLC coordinators. Thank you, Annie Beauregard, Nicole Julien, Michael Citrick, and then of course from our department at the Riverside School Board, Cheryl Bassaraba, very much, and of course myself and Martine, who have been involved in creating some of the different sections, and of course the Center of Excellence for Behavior Management, which also contributed to the kit. And so thank you so much to all of you who have been part of this. And so this initiative started off as being a pilot project for, Martine, is it 4 or 5 schools?
5 schools. 5 schools.
So 5 different schools at Riverside School Board. And of course, we didn't want to limit it to these 5 schools. And so we have created kits to give to the 5 schools. And we wanted to open it up to other schools of the board and allow for them to, of course, being able to provide this for the parents. The difference being that what we would do for the other schools that are not part of this pilot project is we would hand over everything that you need in order to procure the different elements and in order to print all of the different pieces that need to be printed. We just wanted Martine and I to bring forth a few key points. First of all, if you're not part of the pilot project and you would like to move forward with this kit for your students and parents, please be mindful that this intervention package is necessary to be presented as a whole. Each item has really been specifically chosen and thought through, and each of them have a purpose. They have a raison d'être as to why they're part of this package, whether it's about play, about emotions, about even physical, and all of that, and helping the parent come alongside, helping the child feel ready in order to be prepared for K4. It would be really strongly important that every single piece is their part of the kit. And so, of course, when we have thought of creating each of these sections, these pieces are thought through in terms of the neuroscience and the brain development, in terms of trauma-informed practice, in terms of understanding emotions and the nature of emotions, how they need to be expressed in order to build the language of emotion, and how that's such a foundational in terms of emotional healthiness and emotional maturity. Again, with the importance of play, how can we have different avenues in order to help for the emotions to move through? The sheet that we have with the welcome to our school with all of the pictures, this is a really important piece in order to welcome the child and for them to have a visual as to who are their key people.
Mhm.
And of course for them to become familiar with those different individuals. The placemat, in terms of being interactive, but also each section of the different placemat have been thought through in terms of what's needed for a child to feel ready to walk into K4. The different games, we have a variety of different games, and the idea is there for the child to play on their own, but also with their family. It's there to be exploratory, to have fun, and of course each child has can have their own preferences, and so in order to have a variety there, it really caters to all of the different tastes and interests. The resources for parents were really key here as well, because of course the child cannot be ready for K4 on their own. They need to have their adults around them to help them become ready for K4. And so having that material is really key as well. Having the resources for parents to help them understand their child, to be able to come alongside them in order to support them in that transition to this brand new experience. And so just so you know, for those schools who are not part of the pilot project, we will be putting together a web page on our complementary services website at the Riverside School Board, where we will have this recording. We will have all of the different materials to be printed. We will name all of the other materials that you can procure yourself to create the kit, and so forth. And so you will see that everything will be there. The address is www.rsbsupport.com. You will see that on the website at the top of the menu, there's a menu tab called Kindergarten. And so underneath there will be those web pages. Martine, anything else you'd like to add?
I think I would just want to wrap up with a comment that you made earlier, Catherine, that our big thrust here is for kids to be ready in being comfortable, in being comfortable in their bodies, in being able to express themselves, that they're en route with that. We don't expect it as a done deal, but that it's en route, that they're able to name what is working, not working, when they need help, and that they've been exposed and tried different things, so that coming to school in itself is a big experience. But if some of these other things have been tapped into already, is that it will help them be more comfortable and be able to name what they need. And it'll, in this way, make the whole experience easier. The adults will be in a position to be helping, and they will be very helpful. But the clearer that a student can be, then the easier that can be. And the focus is really on play. It's have fun with this. This is not a serious business. This is like go and have lots of fun and try out different places and create other things. And our hope is that from this kit is it will give other ideas to try out. And no, we couldn't fit everything else that we had as ideas in there, but there are many, many different things there. And we hope that the range will help to provide ideas to stimulate and to make it that, oh my goodness, K4 is going to be so excited. We're really looking forward to this. So we're looking forward to seeing the kids coming in August. And this was really a collaboration of different partners. And it's so key that different people came together, all in the care and wanting to help kids in their growth, in their emotional development, in their wellness, and to help them lead forward. And the academics will come in the later years. K4 is not an academic year. We are not looking to be doing academic things. Some of it may look like it later on, but it's not what we're starting with. It's not where we're heading to. So we're really looking for lots of fun and play and expression. So we hope the kids are very helpful, and we look forward to hearing your feedback. So thank you so
Absolutely.
much.
Thank
Yeah.
you. It's been a pleasure.